Classified Crime is on location in Putnam County, Florida, and today we are going to go over the details from Caylen Deller's bond hearing on May 27th. Yesterday, May 27th, I went to Palatka, Florida for the bond hearing and to support Ken and the family of the victim, Chad Mullen, during Caylen Deller's motion for a bond in the case. Palatka is about 60 miles south of Jacksonville, Florida. The hearing started at 1:30 p.m. and we were not allowed to enter the courthouse prior to that time. And we were also not allowed to take any photos or video recordings inside of the courtroom. I did have the privilege of meeting Chad Mullen's family in person, including his daughter, Holly. News for Jax was on location, and I will link the article they did here and in the description. I will also link the video that Holly and I collaborated on together here and in the description as well. So her bond was denied, and I'm going to go over some of the notes that I took and the highlights of the hearing. The state prosecutor called 2 detectives as witnesses to prove the state's motion that there is enough evidence to show that Caylen is likely to have committed the crime she's accused of and currently incarcerated for. The state included police reports in their response to the defense motion for this bond and also entered the witness testimony and other items into evidence at the hearing. The state's first witness was Detective Jesse Fussell, and he testified about the investigation of Chad Mullen, first as a missing person, and later how he found the body of Chad Mullen and the physical evidence he collected. The state entered photographs of the physical items into evidence and went on to discuss how some of the items found with Chad Mullen's body were also found in photos on Caylen Deller's phone through her Google account. Now, the defense did object under speculation to the detective saying the items matched the photos in her Google account, but the judge immediately overruled that objection. Detective Fussell also mentioned the Google searches downloaded from Caylen Deller's phone. Now, for context, Chad Mullen went missing on September 9th, 2024. On August 19th, Caylen Deller searched cost of a gun at a pawn shop. On August 24th, she searched lyrics to a Marilyn Manson song involving life-taking as the subject matter. These could be supportive of premeditated part of her charge. Additional things searched included cell towers in Putnam County, location settings on a phone, and how to make someone's phone answer a call. Detective Fussell also testified that on September 11th, searches included do tires sink and can pine trees float. On September 13th, searches included Putnam County 911 calls and what is lime used for on a farm. The second witness called was investigator David Sanders, who specifically discussed the phone location mapping. He explained the software and process used to collect and analyze phone locations from Caylen Deller, Chad Mullen, and Tina Marie Lee Ellis phones. The phone locations tied Caylen Deller and Tina Marie to the location where Chad Mullen's body was found in the early morning hours of September 10th and 12th. By 5:45 a.m., Caylen Deller's phone was showing back at her residence on San Mateo, and Tina Marie's phone was showing back at her residence in Satsuma on September 12th. Their phones showed they were at the location Chad Mullen his body was found for about 3 hours. Now, keep in mind, this is early morning hours and on a rural area of a farm property. The investigator explained about timing advance phone location mapping, where your phone is always attempting to connect to the closest tower to get the strongest signal, and this can happen thousands of times a day. When your phone is in range with more than one tower simultaneously, an exact location could be obtained where the two signals cross each other. So instead of just a range, it gives like an exact location, and this happened with Caylen Deller's phone at the location where Chad Mullen's body was found. The defense called a witness via Zoom that had agreed to allow Caylen to stay with her if she were to be granted the bond. This person claimed to have known Caylen since 2012 and they reside in Pensacola, Florida, which is on the Gulf side of the state. It would take quite a while to drive there. She said she would help Caylen get to court, but that she would not put up a bond or collateral for a bond. The prosecutor cross-examined this witness and asked more about the nature of their relationship. He asked if she would not put up a bond or collateral because she did not want to do so or because she was not able to do so. He also emphasized her location in Pensacola multiple times and how far it is in relation to Putnam County. The defense then called Caylen Deller to testify. Her attorney asked her basically if she were willing to abide by the conditions of a bond, such as wearing a GPS monitor, appearing for all court hearings, not leaving the state. And of course, she agreed that she would abide by this, but who is going to say no? Of course not. Judge, I'm not going to try to flee when they are asking to be released. So of course she agreed to that. When asked how much cash she had available for a bond, she responded that she currently had $3,500 being managed by the witness from Pensacola. She also claimed she may have family that could add more to that amount to help her. The defense pointed out that that would allow her a $35,000 bond amount since you have to put up 10%, but that's not nearly the level of bond someone would need to put up in the severity of charges in this case. The prosecutor cross-examined Caylen Deller and pointed out that she has been arrested for a dangerous crime. The state has proven the substantial probability that she committed the crime and that the crime showed a blatant disregard for human life and to hide, alter, and destroy the evidence of the crime, which bond would give the opportunity to do further so she could further destroy any evidence if out on bond. The community would not be safe with her out on bond, and he cited case law to support this argument in the motion. The defense then came back and claimed there was no testimony that she would be a danger to the community. And I don't know what hearing he was attending, but I heard plenty of testimony that she would be a danger to the community. And then he basically said she would wear a GPS monitor so the court would always know where she was. The judge stated that the court finds the charge to be a dangerous crime and a capital offense. The court agreed that the state proved Caylen Deller is likely to have committed the crime. The court also agreed the details were very troubling and that the state did show a disregard for human life was shown by her actions, alleged actions. The judge also said she was not confident there are any conditions that would keep her from flight, and even stated that a GPS monitor can easily be cut off and she could flee the state or the country. So her ruling was that the bond is denied. So what are your thoughts on this hearing? I personally was glad to be able to attend and hear firsthand the evidence from the prosecutor and the arguments from the state. I think the judge was fair in her ruling, and I agree that there are no safe conditions for Caylen Deller to get a bond, especially after my interview with Kenneth Waddell about how she behaved on bond after an attempt on his life, which is alleged still because it was not proven in court. But that was his account of events. I'm happy for Chad Mullen's family and for Kenneth Waddell and his daughter that they don't have to worry about her being out from behind bars, possibly harming someone, as I know that would cause them unimaginable stress. I will continue to follow this case. In my opinion, it needs more attention than it is getting, and I hope you will consider sharing this video or the whole playlist I have done on Caylen Deller and her various charges. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel for updates. Until next time.